A very good evening to all of you. This is like a high power group. I was resting nicely at my parents' place in Jodhpur. Came here to visit them, but this is getting me back to the Bombay time in terms of being aggressive in my presentation. So what I'm going to do is that Anil has given me a very short span of 20 minutes. So I'm going to keep it tight and sweet to that 20-minute limit. Post that, we'll get into 20 minutes of Q&A. But if any one of you we can help or I can seek help from, you can connect with me personally. My email ID is mohit@marketsmojo.com. And we can take this discussion maybe after this as well. So I have been told to give you, some bit of my understanding of what goes on and what has gone on in the last 5 years in the way that we've been running business. This is not my first venture. This is actually my third venture almost. Our first venture was Money Control, if you guys have heard of it. That was way back in 97, 98. Post that, I was known as more like a Caesarean manager. I was taken into large companies where the departments were not taken off, and I became a turnaround manager. And then finally, I decided to turn myself around, at a 40 plus age, and try and see what I can do back, what I did when I was 25, 26 years old during my money control days. So, one of the things is, call us unicorns in the making, whatever it is. But I can tell you that if I were to today look at myself, I can only number more failures than successes in the last 5 years. I typically feel that we are made from failures, but we are cemented with success. Now, when I say cemented with success, it's all got within us. We've got that cement in it. We are all made with the same set of failure bricks. How well we can cement our failures together is what creates success. Nobody is successful all the time. Most people are, failing most of the times. So I have a disclosure red slide to give you that we missed almost all our launch targets. We missed our launch by 6 months. Right. After spending 25 years in the industry, both on the startup side, on large MNC banks, leading brokerage houses, being on board of companies, I missed all my targets. We've lost every professional relationship that we had before we started. I realized that it was not the respect that people were giving me. The respect was because of the chair that I was sitting on. And that's a realization that we got very soon on. We failed because so far what we planned in the launch in the first year, we are only at 20% of that after 5th year. But still, we succeeded somewhere. And I'm going to just take this journey. Why is that businesses succeed and why is that businesses fail? With a mix of collage of failures and successes that we are built with in our professional life. Deepa was giving you a number. I have my number. Which I personally feel out of 100, you will be failing 90% of the time in a startup. Trust me, if you're trying to say that I have an idea and I am a great guy, I'm going to succeed most of the time, it doesn't work. You're talking to somebody who's doing it the third time, right? Beyond this, I'm going to retire now and keep speaking. That failure will be 90% of the time, success will be 10% of the time. But can you divide that failure by 10? Can you make those failures smaller? And can you multiply your successes by 10? If you can, please focus on the last 3 lines. Can you divide your failures by 10? And can you multiply your successes by 10? That's going to make a difference. The top 3 lines is a reality. The bottom 3 is the gesture or is the reaction to that reality that we all have. And that makes us different. And I'm going to show you precisely how we'll talk about this today in a short span of time. Okay, now we all feel that we are different people. Deepa is privileged, Anil is privileged, Mohit is privileged. Oh my God, he's got 25 years experience. He's been a Prestige CEO since the time he was 27-year-old and all that stuff. But I'll tell you something. These 5 failures have hit me, and these 5 failures are going to hit you. These are business environmental, entrepreneurship environmental failures that will hit you. If they have not hit you, brace yourself, they're going to hit you tomorrow. So these are hard realities that you will face. Failure number 1. I'm giving you this because I have not just run my business, but I've sat on various committees where I've addressed a lot of entrepreneurs before. And they have this right from 99. You guys don't know the 99.com euphoria. People used to roam around with small plastic cards. They will meet you in a conference and they will have a couple of drinks and they will get a business idea. They will write their name and they will name their business there itself. I've come from that frenzy of .com boom that had happened at that point in time. Today we are facing, a similar kind of a boom in the last 2 years, especially on the .com side. But there is a lot of genuineness that is coming in. But having said that, this is the biggest demon of all. I love my idea, right? My idea is unique. My idea is my IP, right? My whole way of doing things is different. I just love my idea, right? Note these two lines. This is my patented line. This is all the lines that I've written here. Nobody else has written. I've written here. I've always believed that there's always somebody on the street who's got a better brain than you and who's got better money than you, right? As soon as you get that in your head, you will humble yourself down. Instead of loving your idea, execution has to be the strength, right? When iPhone came out, it was an iPhone with a one button idea. Execution was something that took it to that particular level. Your focus and passion. Money can buy resources, money can buy ideas, money can buy people like me who will give ideas. But you are unique in the way that you have that passion and strength to carry on, which is not there as a software in any other human being. Hardware can be bought, software cannot be bought, right? Do you have that focus and passion? Nimbleness to change, right? We are too much in our idea. I come forward 1 year, down the line, 6 months down the line, I see an opportunity. I have to just kind of take a bypass and come back to my idea. Can I do it or not? Or am I too stickler of what I want? And what is the amount of sacrifices that you're willing to make? At any age you go, you are maybe coming out from a job, or maybe you are, somebody who's a fresher. There is a huge amount of sacrifice that you make, not just financially, emotionally, in terms of physically, for your families, for your near ones. There's a lot of sacrifice you got to make to tread this particular journey. Are you ready to make those sacrifices? Self-love, right? Another thing that we've seen and we've learned from this is that, when you come out from a machinery and you look at things and you say that, I can do this myself. There's everything, right? If you're a startup guy, somebody's not picking up your phones very well, you'll say, I will go there, sit there at the reception, pick up the phones, right? You want to set an example at everything. You want to do it yourself. You feel that this is my idea. I own this idea. I will do this myself, right? Nobody can do this better than me. I do not know why a human being turns into a superhuman or a superman the day he launches his business. He believes he can do everything. And that is not us. We cannot do everything. We are specialists in our own fields. We need to make time that we focus on our own stuff, on our own expertise, rather than passing it on to, to everybody that I can do. Please understand, you are never more weaker. You're the weakest today, right? Do not try and get more. You're never more weaker than when you launch a business. Your energies have to be conserved. Your energies have to be focused. Do not people go on the other side. They become supermans. I tell them to become, lower humans, to understand, to get your ego down, to make sure that your time is limited, to make sure that you need to get the right resources, to make sure that you need to get right people and processes in place to focus on what you are good at and give it to others what you think they are good at. One of the other thing that I feel is that, apologies for the spelling mistake, I've done this in the last half an hour. Are you a job person or your business person? It's, this whole thing of one monthly check coming into your account versus nothing coming into your account is what gives the jitters. You need to understand as a DNA that you are, whether you are a business creator or you're a business enhancer. It's a good self-realization that we need to have early on in life. And I think that's something that will help us when we are treading on that particular journey. How deep is your plan, right? this is the slide that I was referring to in terms of, Deepa's earlier 110-1 number. In my life experience of 25 years, I've seen 99% of the businesses fail in the first 5 years. I'm going to give you a magical formula here, which I always used, right? If you can sustain first 5 years, you will sustain. Your hardest job is in the first 5 years. Please understand what I'm saying once again. If you can sustain the first 5 years, you will sustain. The only difference is how big you will become. Whether you generate 5 crores, 10 crores of top line, 20 crores of top line, whether you generate 1,000 crores, 2,000 crores, that's a different mindset. But if you can sustain 5 years, you will sustain, right? So what we do typically is we make a 5-year plan to track, right? Don't worry about the changes. Make a 5-year plan to track. You then break it up into smaller deliverables of no more than 90 days, right? Nothing can get developed in my experience over 90 days. Make it short, make it sweet, make it something that you can sprint on. Don't make too demanding demands out of yourself. Have 3 financial projections: optimistic, average, pessimistic. This is just the start. Take the average, the second one. Divide revenues by 3 and multiply cost by 2. That's your plan. So what this will do, as soon as you do this, this will get you ready for 5 years. Because as soon as you do your financial projections and take out the average plan, you divide the revenues, because revenue is a dream, cost is a reality, right? So when you are projecting something, you are so optimistic about yourself, you will go higher on the revenue side and you will go conserving on the cost side. Whatever your plans are, you create a 3-stage plan, which is optimistic, average, and pessimistic. Take the average plan out, and please do this calculation on that you divide the revenues by 3 and multiply the cost by 2. That is your number you need to. That number, if you're ready for next 5 years, you get into the business or you sustain there, right? If you can survive, aim to survive in the first 5 years. The other thing is, why are you in business? Are you in the business to make a difference? A lot of people say, I want to make a difference, right? A lot of people say, you know what, I don't know, but this will help people. See, if you want to help people, you be on the social side of business, right? You don't have a financial, if you ask me and say, Mohit, why are you in this business? I would say, I want to make a difference and make a lot of money for my investors and myself. We as Indians have this whole thing of, I want to make the money in the gut, but on my voice, I would say, I want to make a difference. I want to change the society and all that stuff. That's fine. You want to do all of that, but know who you are, right? Because after 1 year, 2 years, you will cry on the other side and say that, listen, I didn't make money out of it. But that was not the aim to start. So be clear to yourself, be honest to yourself, right? You are on the social side, please be on the social side. That is utmost honesty. But if you are on the financial and business making side, you be on the business making side, because that's utmost reality. Assume you will not get funding, right? Make an assumption and run. Right from, I think I've been stopped getting into the startup forums by a lot of people because I'm over 40. And they say that over 40 is not the startup age anymore. It is 26, 27. And may I ask you, why is 26, 27 a startup age? Because those guys don't even have money to fund their own businesses, because they don't understand how to run a business, but they understand scale. They understand unrealistic targets. That is a great thing for them to do, right? And they understand how to grow inorganically. Maybe that's something that, seasoned people like us cannot do, but that is the startup ecosystem. When I get into a startup ecosystem, I cannot run like that. You tell me to run a marathon, I will run. You tell me to sprint, I may not be able to sprint. So I'm a marathon guy. I typically I don't believe in funding. I only believe, is my business profitable, sustainable? If in 5 years it's not profitable, I need to think. I would typically get out in the second year itself if my business is not profitable. How much growth, how much market share? You need to remember these things. Remember, business paying dividends is equally great a business. Then business that goes funding or that gets IPO. And don't stress on things that are not in your control. It's getting funding, not getting funding is not in your control. Somebody's going to like your business plan, not like your business plan, like the way you look, not like the way you look, not your control. What is in your control is the business that you're making. I have worked very closely with Mr. Junjunwala, and there's a very nice thing that I can't say it in the crude fashion that he used to say, but I'm going to say it in a little bit nicer fashion. Is that if you have a good girl at home, right, somebody who wants to marry her will come home. You don't need to go out. So make the product strong. If somebody has to come and find a match with you, that person will come home. You don't need to go out and make presentations. Make the product very strong, right? And what excites you? The product, the journey, financial rewards, excitement, making difference, right? Now, this is what my take is. The most boring thing is the most rewarding. You see, we all come with ideas. I will make something which will do this. I will make something which will do this. My idea was I will create an IP that has never been created across the world, right? But when you sit down, for you to create that IP, that is just a dream, that is just a statement. The most boring stuff. And what is the boring stuff? Define the processes, have the IFO detail, run project management on tools, get HR policies in place, have trainings, employees and onboarding, dashboards, MIS, error logs, feedback, surveys, very important, right? You think like Infosys. You start thinking that my company is going to become Infosys. You start putting processes in place. Anything that you're dreaming of, any idea will come and fall in your lap, because it's not the power of the idea, it's power of the execution. And execution is the power of all the boring things that at least I'm not interested in, but I need to do. You need to know that I need to get into all of this, because this is a great scale in my business, right? Okay, I have 5 minutes I'm going to take. 5 success checkpoints that we encountered. Partnership and divorce. Number 1, right? Have a partner in the game. Don't do this alone. If you can, possibly. Don't have more than 3 partners, right? It's going to end up in a conflict someday or the other. Have at least 1 more partner with you, right? That's the best model. Emotional support, mental support, physical support, financial support. Please divorce your previous experience and relationships, because you were there. I'm saying this again. This is something I've not been able to hire a single guy that I used to work over the last 25 years. All the guys used to say, boss, you start and we'll join you. I would be able to hire. Now people are coming to us and saying that, can you hire us? Because you become successful. Because this whole thing about your previous professional life is a chair relationship. It's not the power that you have. Overvalue business ego, undervalue personal ego. Okay. Have pride in what you do. Have the business speak about what it does, and completely undervalue your personal ego, a point that I've already covered. Giving you a small example. We were signing up a deal, our first deal with Bloomberg Quint. Right. We had no experience on B2B financial services, internet fintech sale. There's a product that the data that I bought for was 3 lakh rupees. And when we did value addition, we put our IP on the data. I was very passionate about that IP. And when I was meeting their CEO, and they said, okay, we want this whole data plus the IP piece. Now, there's nobody in the market who does a similar thing. Do you know the pricing I pushed onto him? It was a 3 lakh data and my IP and idea. I told him my quote is 4 crores a year. I closed the deal at 1.2 crores. After that, we have not closed a single deal which is lower than that. Only the pride in what you're doing and the product, right? Have utmost business ego. People will respect you. You walk out of that door, say no, people will respect you, that I agree with this guy. This guy values what he does. We have left deals left, right, and center. We move out of deals if you don't get our price, because we know we are valuable. We know the business that we do are valuable. We don't value our personal egos. Right? Compromise perfection, biggest thing. Have sprints. Your perfection has to come on the 3rd step. We try and create a perfect product, and we put our energies out there, and we put all our resources. We delay. Project management goes out of scope. What we felt that after 3 years, 4 years, what I'm trying to achieve is that I tame down my perfection. I say, let it go out first, right? If it is 70% there, I will take it out. My next step would be to take it to 90%. And God forbid, there's nothing in between 90 to 100%, because that will keep happening over a period of time. But at 70%, I'm out with the product. I don't waste time. Fail fast, something that I have stolen as an idea from Anil when he was training us. Fail fast, right? And we've started doing this we just do ABC testing. Okay, this is not working, move ahead. This product is not working, move ahead. We're taking rapid decisions now in the way that we produce. We want to fail fast, but you make your success last. When you get success in something, you don't leave it out there and jump to the next thing. Say that, how can I take it deeper? I can take it deeper. I can make a business out of this, right? All the three businesses that we've created. So we have a B2B business, we have a B2C business, we have a B2B2C business. All the three businesses that we've created were never created before in this segment, right? We've created one business, we went deeper and we created that whole set of business. This is my favorite slide, right? You have got to choose. You take one piece and you go deeper, or you say, okay, I've created one piece, I'm going to go to the other piece, I'm going to go to the other piece. I'm just going to give you an example, which is a simple one to understand. Equities, we started in stocks and analysis and research, right? We went deeper in that. We could have gone into mutual funds, loans, insurance, and so on and so forth. At a certain stage, we said, okay, let's just go completely deep because nobody in this. And then you start broad basing, right? Suddenly you look at something which is, according to me, the best model to follow, which is the sign of the Christ. You go down, you create a business, you broad base, and you come back to your specialty and USP and you make it down. So to just give you an example, we created this line in India. We are now going across 90 countries, and we are then going back into the IP and trying to dig deeper into the IP to try and improve IP of all the 90 countries, right? But when we created an IP, we said, okay, it's 4 years enough. IP is great, looking good. Now can we expand across the globe? And then we will go back. This is what we have done so far. We have 30% share of the Indian investors. We are profitable with 70% efficiency. We were profitable from second year of our operations. We have B2B, B2C, B2B2B, and B2C revenue models. We declined a $20 million valuation 3 years back. In the first year, we got a valuation of $20 million. We declined it because we were positive that we don't want to lose stake. We want to grow as a profitable company. In the next 3 months, we're going global in 90 countries. We're launching Marketsmojo in 90 countries. Please understand the last line. We are self-funded, profitable, and we are self-reliant. Yeah, you can do this. If there's anything that I can take from you or you can take from me, I'm always here. I have a great business and I'm open for questions. And I'm 5 minutes late. Sorry.
Wow, that was so well said. Really.
Thank you.
Packed with value in every moment. And, really loved what you said about making your success last. And I think there are many things in your presentation that were absolute value for the entrepreneurs. Now it's the time for our members to ask you questions. I'm sure there will be some good questions coming. Let me request you to please ask questions around entrepreneurship and not around the product of Marketsmojo, but around entrepreneurship, so that it is relevant for everyone who is attending this event. So please go ahead. It's all yours. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Can I go first?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
please.
Thank you. Dr. Mohit, super presentation. Focus.
Thank you.
A quick question. You mentioned about us realizing whether we are business oriented or employment oriented. Is there a way do you feel we could transit from employee mindset to a business mindset?
Yeah, so this is a very interesting question because I'll tell you, with age, you kind of become more rigid, right? So, and I was becoming very rigid when I was turning 40. And it took me 2 years to take a call to get back to business. So what I used to do is I used to every day take a diary on a Saturday, sit at Starbucks and make notes. It took me 2 years, right? And the only thing that I used to write out there is that how much money I need, how much money can I blow and make it zero, right? When I reached that figure and if that number was affordable, I was comfortable. Then my expectations were down that, okay, even if I have X amount, which I'm going to lose over the next 3 years, it's like going into a everybody has different capacity to gamble. I said, I'm going to gamble with this money, which is not going to spoil my family life, which is not going to spoil my kids' education, all of that stuff. This is what I can play with. And then I stretch that, how much time I need to play this with. And I build my whole cost plan out there. I was at zero risk. I knew that I had written that off. I, in fact, kept that amount in a separate account. Now, the thing is that is easy to do, but because it's a pure number game. Life starts once you start taking no salaries, or you start taking 5% or 10% of your salary and all this stuff, right? Because after 3 months, 6 months, your family will start suffering a little. So what I also did, I kept a amount aside so that my lifestyle is not compromised.
Right.
So I was doing the same kind of spends that I would do when I was in a job. Right? So there's a bit of a financial planning, because the minute you do this financial planning, your mind gets tame. It doesn't disturb you in the night. So you can say, I've taken care of this. It's all about that eye of detail, to know yourself and to try and put your concerns ahead on the paper and say, I'm going to address this first before I get there. Right? Because you do not want these hurdles to come and stop you after 6 months and say that, listen, you didn't plan for this, so now you can't do this. I planned for all of that. Right? If you guys ever want that, I can give you a simple Excel sheet to plan that out.
Wow.
Put your numbers, you will come to know. Yeah,
it's so much. 99% of us would have their Excel sheet, but numbers entry takes time. And then one day becomes a month and a year, and then goes on.
That's true. That's true. You got to do that. It took me 2 years.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Anyone else? Please unmute yourself quickly and you can ask the question.
I have a question. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sir, Mohit sir, the question is about how to work with a partner, because I know a lot of partnership, and after some time it's falling apart. So how we can how we should choose a good partner, and then how in the business how we can work together in the long run. So can you tell us some insights into this?
So you're married?
Not as sir.
So otherwise you'll never ask me this question, because professional partnerships are way easier than personal partnerships. So life teaches you how to have a partnership only once you are 5 or 10 years married, because you just get into that. But having said that, to be on the serious side, you do not need to choose a partner who's like you. I would actually look at somebody who's not like me. It's a groove that needs to fix. It's not like this. It's a groove you need to fix. Right? If you are very business oriented, I need somebody who's process oriented. If you are a very product oriented guy, I need somebody who's strategy oriented. If you are a very financial, planning oriented guy, I need somebody who needs to take a little more risk and who needs to be a little more on the front end. If I'm a back, below the line player, the guy has to be a little above the line. Normally what we do is that we look at people like us. I don't think so you need to do that. You need to look at people who are diverse. The second thing is, never have somebody for the sake of the name, right? When you have somebody who's a partner, you basically have a partner in the flesh. You invest, I will invest. There is a stake which is defined. There's job responsibilities that is defined. You cannot work anywhere else. I can't work anywhere else, and we are together. When I joined with Joyson, who's my partner, in the first month itself, I got an irresistible offer to be the CEO of Credit Suisse India. Right? It was an irresistible offer of what opening salary I was getting and what I was getting, and it was a 1-year commitment that they were telling me to write. I could have easily told Joy, run it for a year. I'm coming and I'll put another 10 crores into this. It doesn't work like that. You have to let it go. You have to let all these greeds that come over a period of time. So you have to have complementing, then you have to have a DNA match. Now, I'm not telling you to go to the hospital and do a DNA match, but you will over a period of time get a feeling. It's a vibe that you get from people that I can work with this person. I cannot work with this person. Too diverse. He's somebody, for example, I go and buy a Arrow shirt. No, this guy goes and buy a 15,000 shirt. Oh my God. It should create something in your head that you need to get this whole vibe yourself. But make sure overall that it's a nut and bolt fit. It's not a nut and nut fit, right? And number two, most important, your flesh has to be in the game. He has to invest, you have to invest. You have to be together in this. You cannot be doing, I'm running my own business on the side, this side, you run your business, and together we'll do this. If something comes out, it comes out.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Hello, Mohit sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Sebastian, and I thank you
Hi.
for sharing, such valuable slides. I had a question. Different leaders share different interpretation. Some leaders say become socialists. Some leaders say become capitalist first. So as a new startup entrepreneur, what should be the real focus mindset? Socialist or capitalist?
What you are is your real mindset. What you are, by the virtue that you're on this forum, I'm telling you, you're not a socialist.
Hmm.
The thing is, everybody wants that social aura to be around them, right? I also want it. And I do my own social activities in my own ways. I don't need to speak about it. But having said that, when I'm at work, my objective is simple. I want to gain market share. I want to create something which is really big, which makes money for the investors and which makes money for the shareholders. Right now, you can launch a business with social activities, then you need to tame down your financial expectations out of that business. You can launch the business through financial aspirations, and you say that I can do X number of social activities out of that. It really depends on which way you want to catch the tail from, right? But it's really on to you. I don't think so anybody who comes on the forum and says social activity is how you need to start, or capitalistic activity is how you need to start, is right or wrong. To me, capitalistic activity is what I do, and I'm very proud of it. And the socialistic activity is something I do on an individual basis, and as a business we do as well. But that's not something that is my business.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Mohit. This is Sunil. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, Anil, I can hear you.
Yeah, Mohit, first of all, thanks for a wonderful presentation. That was great. I'll just keep this short. Two questions. Contrary to the, conservative or the traditional way of thinking, you said two things. Number one, of having a partner. Well, the conservative way of thinking is that if you need a complementary skill, you hire a guy rather than making him your partner, Number one. Number two, how do you scale up without funds? There is only that much you can achieve with your own investment. If you really want to get to the next level, you will require more investment. And if you were to actually make the money out of the current business, it would take a long time to achieve that level.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So no, I think both your questions are very relevant, especially your second question gives me also, fiery nights when I dream about it. Let me attack the easier one first. The first one, in terms of, having the promoter, I think, see, you can buy the best of the talent, but the best of the talent is very variable. It goes, the level of commitment is very different when you look at a partner and when you look at an employee, right? And obviously the employee that may come to you as a partner will obviously be a senior guy, and he would claim a lot of money, and you don't have that kind of money to start with. I think there is also a little bit of a greed in our head when we start a business that I want to own 100%. But in that whole greed, it's like you want to have how big you want the cake. You want you want a large piece of a small cake, or you want a small piece of a very large cake. Is the mindset that we need to go in. According to me, partner is much more than that. You can go, you have emotional support. You today have whatever your mind is going through, because you're a entrepreneur. You will go through your own set of cycles. Once you go through a set of cycles, a partner always is there to hold. Now, there are some guys who are strong, maybe I'm not, but I need a partner because I need my sharing, I need my bouncing off, I need somebody to stay committed to me. So I need a partner. So it's not something that works for everybody. It works well for me. You may be a very strong guy who say that I can create this thing. It works well for you. That's fine. You go for it. But that's what works for me. Now, the second question, as I said, is a tough one. And I think we have just 5 more minutes. I think, Deepa, we have 5 minutes. Or we're done with time.
Yeah, we can answer this question.
All right, fine. So basically, the second one is a very tight question. You see, the thing is, now you start a business and it starts creating, say, you're spending, the cost goes in, and then after a period in time, you start making profits. Profits are very minuscule. the profits are minuscule because you've not even started increasing your salary that much. So slowly you go to a stage where you say that, okay, now I'm coming back to my salary and all of that stuff. And suddenly you say that this is the amount of money that I've got. Now, the thing that happens is that as soon as you're in a market, your IP is gone because everybody knows what you're doing. So you cannot say that my IP is hidden. People will start and try and copy you. We have people who are trying to copy us as we are talking right now. Now they've got two choices. One is that, can I get growth capital in and go to the next phase fast, right? The other is that, can I just have my IP changing and keep creating multiples of our IP when we move forward in terms of my phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, so the competition is continuously thinking, and I will go on higher growth trajectory myself. So maybe can I grow my revenues at 100%, 200% on a YOY basis? I personally believe I've taken the approach of growing my revenues at 100, 200%. The reason I don't believe that much on this whole funding parameter is that most of the guys today, if you see, whether it is Flipkart or whether it is anybody that you see, the main shareholders are 2 or 3% into the company left now. They've gone through series of loss funding. You know, what is a loss funding is that you go and get a $25 million funding and then you spend it out, right? Because you got to show that you spent out, and your funding doesn't come in 25 millions in your hand. It's a spending plan of 6 months or 1 year, right? You take it out and you spend it, you spent it, you acquired customers, you're still not profitable. This is a very US way of working, of having a 10-year of non-profitability model. 20 years, Amazon turned profitable after 10 years, you know, so it's that kind of a model. There are guys who play it well, I can't. I believe that I need to create a business that is growing on profits 100 to 200%. Scale is okay. I'll manage the scale over a period of time, because trust me, today, the amount that somebody would have funded me is something that is in the next 6 months will be lying in my account by my profits itself. And I've not diluted. The other thing is that when you dilute, I'm sorry, this is the way I name it, but I hope none of you guys are VCs. I don't want a 26-year-old monkey to sit on me. Do you know who comes and sits on boards of companies? A McKinsey pass out, right? A McKinsey employee coming and sitting on your head trying to tell you how to run your business. It is a cost at which you lose your freedom. If I'm desperate, I'll do it. If I'm not desperate, I'll never let that happen. You have somebody coming and sitting who's a 27-year-old sitting on your board because his parent company has invested and he tells you how to run your business, you know, and then you after 6 months dilute more and you have got another monkey sitting on your head and they're telling you go this side and go that side. Why don't you spend here, take a banner there, do. Right? I'm rigid. I'm 45-year-olds old. I've done my stuff. I could ride those and fight those monkeys. Now I don't. I want my peace of mind. And Marketsmojo today is the first company from India that is going global in the 5th year of launch without any funding. Right? Now, how far I'll be able to go, whether I will be able to take this journey 5 years down the line or not, I don't know. Right? But at least we are moving and creating. Whether I will be an IPO company or a dividend making company, I know that I will at least be a dividend making company. And that's okay. Right.
Mohit,
Okay.
can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Hi, this is Manish Desai. Thank you for this very interesting presentation and all those points that you picked up. I just have a quick question about one slide where you said that divide your revenue by 2 and multiply your cost by 3, and then you see if you can survive or not. So are we talking about creating a pool for some loss funding here? Or are we, because that would basically mean 5x profitability, right?
No. I basically said, if once you have your plan, let's assume you say that in the next 5 years, I will do 10 crores of revenues and I will be doing it at say 3 crores or 4 crores of cost. Right? What I told you is divide the revenue by 3. So you say that actually I may be doing 3 crores of revenue and multiply your cost by 2. So if you were doing it at 3 or 4 crores, say I may spend 8 crores out there. So that gives you a shocker. Right? this is exactly how I've always planned businesses. That revenue, please understand, revenue is a dream, cost is a reality. Right? You can keep dreaming that you will get 10 crores of revenue and all that stuff. So what I do is that once I dream, I know I'm going to chase that. But in my mind, in my pocket, I just put that number down so that I know that if this happens, I'm not going to get a heart attack. Right? It just gives me the base reality. I come to know where is the, if I'm jumping in a lake, where is the land in the lake? How deep is it? So it just gives me the depth. I may float, but if I go to the depth, I should know how to survive and come up. It is not for you to start working on that plan. It is only to know how deep is your lake.
I'm sorry, I said just one question, but can I just ask a follow-up?
No, sorry, Mani. You will have to write to Mohit. He has given us the freedom to write to him.
Please do so.
And as much as we would love to keep
Thank you,
hearing
Deepa.
from
Thank
you,
you.
Mohit, we have a promise that you have made to the audience that we'll get done by 5:30. So we'll keep our promise. So thank you, Mohit, and really words are not enough to thank you for the kind of value you have brought to us in spite of your such a busy schedule. So really want to thank you, and as a special thank you gesture, we have a special gift coming for the Marketsmojo team, which we will be sending you. But that's nowhere close to what you have done, and we look forward to your contribution as a mentor to this forum in days to come.
Sure. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Mohit.
Anil has been a personal guide. Deepa, you've been a personal guide to us. And we thank everybody who's supported us. If there's anything, I go and speak at hundreds of forums. If there's anything at any point in time you want me to come there for half an hour, I will be there. Don't tell me to make a presentation, becomes a little taxing. But I will be
Sure.
there at any point in time that you want me. My, my numbers are with Anil if anybody wants to discuss anything. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.